There's a mattress in every bedroom, every hotel room, every motel, every dormitory, every hospital, every shelter, and every abandoned house in America. After a collapse, roughly 350 million of them are going to sit there doing absolutely nothing while people sleep on concrete next to them, because a mattress is for sleeping and they've already got the floor. That's one of the biggest wastes in the entire post-collapse landscape, because a mattress isn't a sleeping surface. A mattress is a compressed bale of raw materials that were assembled in a factory using steel, foam, fabric, cotton, wood, and fiber. Materials specifically selected for durability, resilience, and performance under sustained physical stress. All wrapped in a convenient rectangular package that you can drag to your shelter, cut open with a kitchen knife, and turn into 7 different survival systems that would otherwise require scavenging across a dozen locations. The people who see a mattress and think bed will sleep on one. The people who see a mattress and think materials will strip it apart and use those materials to insulate a shelter, build traps, filter water, dress wounds, start fires, and construct the kind of infrastructure that keeps a group alive through a winter. Here's what's inside and what each component does. Thing number 1, a standard innerspring mattress contains between 300 and 800 individual coil springs made from tempered high-carbon steel wire. Each one is performed into a helix, roughly 3 to 5 inches tall. This is an absurd quantity of quality steel wire concentrated in a single object. When you clip those springs free from the frame that connects them, a task requiring nothing more than pliers or wire cutters, you're holding individual units of springy, strong, corrosion-resistant steel that have been heat-treated to maintain their shape under thousands of pounds of repeated compression. Each spring, uncoiled and straightened, produces roughly 12 to 18 inches of usable wire. Multiply that by 500 springs, and you're looking at 500 to 750 feet of tempered steel wire from a single mattress. That wire makes snare loops for small game. The spring temper means it holds loop shape without collapsing, which is exactly the property you want in a snare. It bends into fish hooks that hold their shape under pulling force. It twists into tripwire connectors for perimeter alarm systems. It forms into pins, needles, small tools, and trap trigger components. Because it's already tempered, already heat-treated to be hard and springy, it performs better for these applications than raw wire from electrical cables or fences, which is softer and deforms more easily under load. The spring coils themselves, left intact, have applications that straightened wire doesn't. A coil spring is a mechanical energy storage device. Compress it and it pushes back with proportional force. This makes intact mattress springs useful as trigger mechanisms for traps, return springs for improvised latches and gate closures, tensioning devices for bow-type snares, and shock absorbers in any mechanical system you're trying to build. The steel frame that holds those springs together is typically 14-gauge mild steel tubing, or flat bar stock, giving you another 15 to 25 pounds of structural steel that can be cut, welded, or bent into everything from tool handles to structural reinforcement for shelters. One mattress produces roughly 40 to 50 pounds of usable steel. That's a month's worth of trap building material. That's enough to outfit a perimeter with alarm systems. That's insurance against starvation. Thing number 2, industrial mattress foam isn't like the foam in a pillow. A standard mattress uses between 4 and 8 inches of high-density foam designed to support weight, resist compression, and maintain its shape for years. This foam is viscoelastic, meaning it absorbs energy and then slowly returns to its original shape. That property makes it invaluable. Cut that foam into strips, and you get material for sound dampening in shelter construction. Layer it on walls and ceilings, and you reduce internal noise signature by 40 to 60%, which in a post-collapse scenario means the difference between being heard and being passed by. It also provides thermal insulation. Foam absorbs and traps air in cellular pockets, creating an insulation barrier that slows heat transfer. A 6-inch layer of mattress foam provides roughly the same R value as 4 inches of fiberglass insulation. Wrap that foam around pipes or storage containers, and you protect them from temperature fluctuations. Store critical supplies in foam-lined boxes, and you've created a thermal buffer that maintains stable internal temperature even when external conditions are extreme. But here's where it gets practical. That foam can be boiled down to produce an accelerant for starting fires. The chemical composition of polyurethane foam breaks down when exposed to high heat, releasing flammable vapors that catch and burn hot. A handful of shredded foam produces flame that lasts long enough to catch tinder and build a fire. In a scenario where lighters are gone and matches are precious, that's a survival advantage. The foam can also be packed tightly into containers to create flotation devices. A standard queen mattress contains roughly 40 to 50 pounds of foam. Sealed in waterproof containers, that foam displaces enough water to support 60 to 80 pounds of additional weight. That's a raft foundation. That's river crossing capability. That's rescue equipment. And if you're in a medical scenario, shredded foam becomes padding for wounds, splints, and medical devices. It's absorbent enough to manage blood and fluids, while being soft enough to prevent additional tissue damage. One mattress produces enough foam to insulate a 12 by 12 foot shelter, create sound dampening for an entire perimeter, provide fire-starting material for a month, and still have padding left over for medical applications. Thing number 3, the outer covering on a standard mattress is typically a heavy-duty cotton polyester blend, roughly 200 to 400 thread count. Woven tight enough to contain the internal materials, but still permeable enough for breathability. A queen mattress covers approximately 60 square feet of surface area. That fabric can be repurposed into dozens of applications. Cut it into strips and you get cordage for binding, securing, and tying down. It's not as strong as rope, but it's more reliable than vines and more flexible than wire. A single mattress provides roughly 50 to 100 feet of usable fabric cord. That's enough to lash together a shelter frame. That's enough to create load-bearing tie-downs for water containers or food storage. Soak that fabric in saltpeter or other wood ash, and it becomes char cloth, the most reliable fire-starting material known to survivalists. Char cloth catches a spark when regular cloth won't. In low-oxygen environments, where normal tinder fails, char cloth ignites. One mattress cover produces enough char cloth to make fire starting reliable for 6 months. The fabric can also be used for filtration. Layer it through a water filter system, and it catches particles, sediment, and debris that would otherwise pass through. Multiple layers of mattress fabric create a mechanical filter that removes 70 to 80% of suspended particulates. That pre-filters water before it goes through sand and charcoal layers, extending the life of your activated charcoal supplies. In a medical context, that fabric becomes bandaging material. Cotton polyester blends are absorbent, sterilable through boiling, and conformable enough to wrap wounds without causing additional damage. You can sterilize it, cut it into gauze-sized pieces, and store it for months. One mattress cover produces enough fabric for months of wound dressing and medical applications. The fabric also works as insulation when layered and compressed. Trapped air between fabric layers acts as an insulator. A heavily folded mattress cover, layered in a shelter wall, provides surprising thermal protection. It won't match foam insulation, but it's better than nothing when nothing is what you've got. One mattress produces 60 square feet of multi-purpose fabric. That's fire-starting material, that's cordage, that's water filtration, that's bandaging, that's insulation. Thing number 4, between the foam and the springs sits a layer of polyester batting and natural fiber padding designed to provide cushioning and distribute weight evenly. This layer is typically 1 to 2 inches thick and composed of carded fibers that trap air while remaining dense enough to provide structure. This material has survival applications that most people never consider. Shredded and compressed, this batting becomes excellent tinder for fire starting. It catches sparks from steel and flint more reliably than grass or bark because the fibers are already processed into fine strands. A handful of mattress batting, properly dried, will catch a spark and smolder long enough to build into flame. One mattress produces enough batting material to support fire starting for 2 to 3 months if managed carefully. The same batting can be compressed into water absorption material. If you're dealing with flooding, medical drainage, or any scenario where you need to manage liquid, mattress batting absorbs and holds several times its weight in water. Place it in the bottom of a medical container, and you've created an absorbent base for wound care. Line a floor with it, and you've created a moisture barrier that prevents groundwater from seeping into your shelter. That batting can also be layered and treated with plant resins or oils to create weatherproofing material. When saturated with rendered animal fat or plant-based oils, the fibers become water-resistant. Multiple layers of treated batting create a moisture barrier that can be used for roof covering, wall sealing, or weatherproofing supplies. The internal batting also provides excellent nesting material and insulation filler. Birds and small animals won't distinguish between processed polyester fiber and natural down. Use it to fill gaps in shelter construction, line sleeping areas, or create insulation pockets in clothing. It traps air effectively and maintains loft even when compressed. One mattress produces 30 to 40 pounds of usable batting and fiber. That's months of fire-starting capability. That's water absorption and management material. That's insulation. That's weatherproofing potential. Thing number 5, underneath all the springs and foam sits a wooden foundation, typically hardwood slats or a plywood base designed to provide structural support for the mattress assembly. A standard mattress foundation is constructed from 1x4 or 1x6 hardwood boards, sometimes 8 to 12 boards per mattress, running the full length. A queen mattress foundation contains roughly 40 to 60 board feet of lumber. That's enough structural wood to build tool handles, arrow shafts, reinforcement beams, or shelter framing for a small structure. Hardwood of this quality is denser and stronger than green lumber. It's already been kiln-dried and milled to precise dimensions. That means it works better for precision applications where strength matters. Split and sharpened, those wooden slats become pointed stakes for perimeter defense. Curved and steamed, they form the frames for traps or snares. Carved and drilled, they become components for mechanical systems. The wooden base can also be processed into charcoal. If you're running a blacksmithing operation or need high-heat fuel, hardwood charcoal burns hotter than regular firewood and produces fewer sparks. A mattress foundation produces enough wood to create several batches of usable charcoal. Wood can also be processed into tinder. Split into fine shavings and dried, it becomes feather sticks and fire starters. The hardwood variety catches fire more easily than softwood because of its density and resin content. One mattress provides 40 to 60 board feet of milled hardwood. That's structural material. That's tool-making material. That's fuel. That's infrastructure. Thing number 6, throughout a mattress assembly sit dozens of metal fasteners, screws, bolts, rivets, and clips that hold the entire structure together. These fasteners are typically steel, sometimes stainless, and come in various gauges and thread counts. A single mattress contains 50 to 150 individual fasteners, depending on construction quality. Fasteners are survival currency. In a post-collapse scenario, finding metal fasteners is significantly harder than finding nails or screws scattered around. But they're essential for any construction project, trap assembly, or mechanical device you're trying to build. The larger bolts can be converted into tools or weapon points. The smaller fasteners work as fish hooks, snare components, or trap triggers. The clips and brackets, typically L-shaped or U-shaped steel, become hinges, brackets, or structural connectors for any assembly project. In a metalworking scenario, these fasteners become raw material for reforging into tools or weapons. If you've got a smith or any heat-working capability, steel fasteners are already the right shape for melting and reforming. One mattress produces 50 to 150 individual fasteners. Each one is a tool waiting to be repurposed. Thing number 7, this is the overlooked application. The mattress, when disassembled, teaches you something critical about assembly, structure, and mechanical design. The springs teach you about tension and compression. The layers teach you about insulation and cushioning. The frame teaches you about structural load distribution. The fasteners teach you about assembly methodology. Understanding how a mattress is built, how materials are layered, how springs are anchored, how fabric contains and protects internal components, gives you a blueprint for constructing other systems. It's an engineering lesson contained within a single object. The multiplication effect, let me stack this for you, because a single mattress becomes exponentially more valuable when you understand what it holds. One mattress produces 40 to 50 pounds of tempered steel wire and framing, 40 to 50 pounds of high-density foam, 60 square feet of multi-purpose fabric, 30 to 40 pounds of batting and fiber, 40 to 60 board feet of hardwood lumber, 50 to 150 steel fasteners, an engineering blueprint for assembly and structure that's not a sleeping surface. That's 7 different survival systems compressed into one rectangular package. That's trap building material, insulation material, fire starting material, filtering material, structural material, medical material, and engineering knowledge, all contained in an object that most people will sleep on and then discard. There are 350 million mattresses in America. If even 10% of them are stripped and repurposed in a post-collapse scenario, you're looking at 35 million units worth of survival infrastructure suddenly available to people who understand what they're looking at. The people who see a mattress and think bed will sleep on concrete while it sits beside them. The people who see a mattress and think raw materials will build shelter, catch food, filter water, start fires, treat wounds, and construct systems that keep people alive. The difference between those two groups isn't intelligence, it's perspective. And perspective in a survival scenario is the most valuable material you can hold. Now you've got the perspective. Now you know what's actually in the mattress. Now you understand why those 350 million discarded mattresses aren't waste at all. They're inventory.